In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to handle any sales objection that ever comes up using my simple 4-step objection handling framework. Now, this exact framework allowed me to close 1.27 million in coaching sales personally in 2024. And in 2025 so far, it's allowed me to add multiple six figures onto my clients' businesses in the coaching space. Now, at the end of this video, I'm going to be going over a live role play, seeing this framework in action so I can actually demonstrate it to you guys. So stick to the end, but let's get straight into it. Now, the first thing I want to go through is why do sales objections actually come up in the first place? Now, to put it simply, sales objections come up because the prospect is not convinced or doesn't have the conviction that your product or service or you are the person they want to go with or that's going to actually get them to their end goal or desired situation. So you've done something or you've not done something to convince them that your product or service is actually going to work for them, right? So it's your responsibility in the objection handling to make them feel comfortable and reframe their beliefs and their perspectives to make them think that they are going to get results or success with your product or service. So let's go through the 4-step framework. The 4-step framework starts with disarming. Now, when someone gives an objection, they almost put their guard up because what they think is you're going to be like every single other salesperson. This guy, right? A sleazy salesperson who is just going to attack them as soon as they say something, right? This is what everyone thinks. So they put their guard up. The main goal to start with is to take that guard down because no one's going to share what they're really thinking. No one's going to open up to you and no one's going to allow your perspective to actually be fully understood by them if their guard is up. So what do? Right? We want to make them feel comfortable. Like I said, average salespeople fail to relate to prospects and make them feel good, and they go straight into handling mode. This is not what you want to do. But how do we actually disarm prospects, right? How do we make them feel comfortable? You want to reassure them, right? You want to reassure them that, okay, it's normal and it's not an issue that they're feeling the way they are, right? So let's say someone says, oh, I need to think about it, or oh, I need to speak to the partner, right? Don't attack them straight away. First thing you want to say is, yeah, look, no worries whatsoever. What we can do is we can book in a follow-up call for a few days just to give you some time to think. Would that sound good? Yes. Or let's say they need to speak to their partner. Yeah, no worries whatsoever. Look, I have a girlfriend. I know they can be pretty naggy sometimes, so I get why you probably might want to speak to your partner, right? What that's doing is making them feel, oh, phew, this guy's not going to push me and he's not some sleazy salesman. So they just relax a bit and they feel like they can actually share stuff with you. Right? So this is the first step, disarming, okay? Really important, and a lot of people fail to do this. Now, the second step is arguably probably one of the most important parts in objection handling. Every single closer, coach I've coached has missed out on this one part, and it's led them to lose so many sales with objection handling. And it's understand, right? If you don't understand the objection, how can you handle it, right? It's stupid the amount of people who don't actually understand the objection. It's the exact same as going into a doctor's room or office, you saying you have a headache, and them just saying, okay, yeah, you have cancer. Do you know how stupid that is? Right? They've not actually taken the time to understand the objection. Let me give you an example, right? Let's say a prospect says, oh, that's just a lot of money. That's just too much money. What does that actually mean? Do you know what that's just too much money means? It could mean they have the budget. It's just a bit of a big jump for them, which is not a money objection. That's a fear objection. Or it could mean that they really want to do this. They really want to buy your product or service. They just don't have the money whatsoever, which it would be, a money logistical side of things, right? Or it could mean they have the money. They're not scared. They just don't see the value, right? That's 3 separate objections that you could figure out if you ask. So the second step is to understand the objection. Take a second to just really ask levels deeper, right? And how do you do this? It's as simple as just probing deeper, right? A few ways you can do this. No worries. What do you mean specifically? Or what's behind that? Or how come? Or when you say X, do you mean X or Y? Or when you say it's a lot of money, do you mean it's completely out your budget? Or you have the funds, it's just a bit of a big jump for you, right? So as soon as you get an objection, assume that you don't understand it. assume every single time that you don't fully understand the objection and take a few seconds, a few minutes to really just get a few levels deeper. Because if you really understand where someone's coming from and what they're feeling, you're going to be able to handle it 10 times easier. For example, let's say someone's just really scared to do something, right? Really scared to take the jump, but you interpret the objection as, oh, they just don't have the money, right? You're going to be handling payment plans, but they have the money, right? They're just scared. So you would have to handle a fear objection. Okay. So let's say someone says, yeah, I need to think about it. Right? You want to probe deeper into why they need to think about things, right? What is the underlying situation that's making them want to think about things? Or let's say someone needs to speak to their partner. Go deeper into why they need to speak to their partner. Do they need permission of the partner? Is that a process that they usually go through to make decisions? Do they have a shared bank account? And if you get to the bottom that they don't need permission of the partner, they don't usually make decisions like that, you can actually get down to the objection and think, right, it's likely not that they have to speak to their partner. So what else is it, right? So just ask. When in doubt, just ask why. It's as simple as that. And then once you've really understood the objection and you've asked enough questions to really understand what you're dealing with, right? You've diagnosed the issue. Now, the third process is reframe. Right? In order for you to effectively change their mind and handle objections, you need to reframe the prospect's belief or perspective, right? There is something that they believe or something that they perceive for them to come up with that objection. They believe that they do need to think about things. They believe that it's not the service or product they should go with, right? So it's your job to reframe the prospect's belief or perspective. And if you don't do this, then there is a 0% chance of a deal closing. Let's say that you hate apples, right? And I say, no, you don't. You like apples, right? Have this apple. You're not going to be reframed. You're not going to be changed in your beliefs, right? Just because I told you, you have to come up with ways to reframe that belief of hating apples, right? So how do we reframe effectively? There's two separate ways you can reframe. B2B, business to business, usually you do it through logic and return on investment. If you can demonstrate that your service or product has a logical benefit or logically gives them a good return on investment, then they're going to go for it. But B2C, business to consumer, which is maybe like entry level coaching, biz op coaching, it could be just to the average consumer, right? Not to a business. Usually what works best is emotion and confidence. Right? A lot of people in the B2C space who maybe are buying a make money online course or buying something for the first time that they never invested that amount of money, they just need a bit of confidence, right? So you play into their emotions and add confidence so that they can actually reframe their beliefs. Okay, let's get into a few examples. And how do we do this? Through analogies. It's very hard to just, let's say you have a kid, right, who doesn't want to eat their vegetables. And you just say, you should eat your vegetables because you get healthy. They're not really going to listen to you. So you need to come up with different ways to explain your point. For example, if you said to a kid, okay, there was a kid who didn't eat his vegetables, right? He went until he was 18 years old not eating his vegetables, and he ended up having severe heart problems. He was obese, his joints didn't work, he had a lot of issues. Do you want to be like that? Like, that's an analogy. That's a story that you're telling them to make them actually believe your point of view. Same thing with analogies. So for example, B2C, let's say someone's very scared to do something or take the jump. I usually go with the bike analogy, right? Do you remember the first time you rode a bike? Yeah. Were you scared? Probably, yeah. Did you fall off? 100 times. But just because you fell off, does that mean you just said, no, I'm never riding a bike again? Well, no, of course not. And do you ride a bike now? Yeah. So just because you felt fearful and just because you'd never done something before doesn't mean you couldn't do it ever. Right? You just had to persevere and just take that jump. It's the exact same with making money online, business, etc. So you could use the bike analogy, or for example, someone has been scammed or burnt in the past or doesn't trust online courses or services similar to your niche. You'd use the girlfriend analogy, right? So do you have a girlfriend, or have you ever had a girlfriend? Yeah, 100%. Are you still with that girlfriend? No. Okay, sweet. So because it didn't work out with your girlfriend, does that mean you're never, ever, ever going to speak to girls or go out with a girl again? No, of course not. All right, why? Because, there's going to be other girls out there. Okay, sweet. So do you feel like just because you got burnt once with a different program or service, that means that every single other service or program is not going to get results? Well, yeah, I get what you mean. Okay, well, look, like you've just got to see the green lights and the red lights, right? Let's break down the green lights. Let's break down the red lights. So, for example, going over an analogy on why their thought process isn't going to serve them is really important. Another one, let's say someone doesn't see the value in network in the community you're selling, right? You could go into the analogy of Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos now, he can close any million, 100 million, $1 billion deals. Why? Because he can go in his pocket and he can get up his phone and call any high level investor he wants to pitch his services. And they'll actually trust him because he has the network. It's the exact same as the network we offer at X company, right? We have hundreds of people in the community that all have different network and different levels of experience that you can utilize. So analogies are really important in reframing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach below in the description a playbook of analogies and reframes to overcome different objections that you can use in your sales calls, right? Now, the very last one after you reframe, understand, and disarm all objections is a silly one. It's asking for the sale. If you don't ask for the sale after every reframe and after you've tried to overcome an objection, you're not going to get the sale. Right? I see this so many times when people just don't ask for the sale and they don't re-ask. So a few ways to ask for the sale is once you've reframed an objection, you can say, why don't we just get started then? Or, so are you ready to get rocking and rolling? Or do you just want to do this thing? Or is there any reason that you wouldn't just get started right now? Right? If you don't ask, you don't get. Because 9 times out of 10, once you reframe an objection successfully and you ask, they say, you know what, let's just do it because you've asked. A lot of people, they lack that confidence to just take that small jump, and you are there as a salesperson or the founder to just give that nudge so they can have the confidence. You're there to transfer your confidence. Okay. But that's pretty much it. Now, if you want our team to build your vehicle into a top tier sales process with these techniques, have closers and setters hired and placed for you, replacing yourself in sales, or to have me personally help train you or your reps, then book a call below or just go into the website in the YouTube description. Now, what we're going to do now is go over a role play. Look, I really want to do this. I just need to speak to my girlfriend first. And then once I've done that, I'll get back to you. Okay, yeah, no worries whatsoever. I completely understand. I have a girlfriend as well, so I know how tough they can be sometimes. Just curious, when you say you need to speak to your girlfriend, is that something you always need to do when you make decisions like this? Yeah, we usually speak. We live together. We share some bank accounts. So yeah, I usually like to speak to her and see what her thoughts are. Okay, no worries. So hypothetically, let's say you speak to your girlfriend and she says, no, I don't want you doing this. What would you do then? Yeah, well, look, I'd speak to her. I'm pretty sure she would probably say yes, so that's not really an issue. I'd just sit her down and get her to hear my thoughts. Yeah, but let's say she just is not happy with it. She's not budging whatsoever. And she says, look, I don't want you to do this. Does this mean that you're going to give up on your dreams of earning that 10K a month and just carry on working at the supermarket for the rest of your life? Oh, definitely not. No. Okay, well, why though? Because I have to get to that goal, right? I don't want to let anything get in the way of that goal. Okay, sweet. So if you don't need permission off your girlfriend, if that's not something that you need, then like man to man, why is it that you need to speak to her? Like, what is it that you want to speak to her with? It's just a lot of money. Look, things are tight at the moment, so I just want to double check with her that we can actually afford something like this. Okay, so you're 100% into the program. You want to do this. It's just the money side of things. Yep, 100%. And is it a fact that you've got the budget? It's just a bit of a big jump, or it's a bit out of your budget, and maybe you need a plan to make it a bit easier? Yeah, a payment plan would make things so much easier. Okay, sweet. Well, look, if we feel like someone's a really good fit, we're happy to offer payment plans to break things down and make things a bit more easier for yourself. Would that help at all? Yeah, can we break it down? Okay, sweet. Let's go through it. So that is it. Now, as you can see with this roleplay, he originally said it was a partner objection, but after going a bit deeper, asking a few questions and seeing if he actually needs permission off his partner, we actually discovered it was a money logistical one. He needed a payment plan. Okay, so that's a really good example of if you disarm it You understand the actual objection, and then you can reframe or attack the objection with as much ammunition as you have, right? So hope this video helps. If you have any questions, pop me a message on @TomHyder_ on my Instagram. And if you guys need any help with your sales process, training your sales teams or yourself, closing more deals, then book a call below or go into my website and go through the video training in the bio on the YouTube description. Have a good day. Boom.